Morning, folks. Today I'm going to do a showcase piece. I've gotten a lot of comments where people just fundamentally misunderstand Tesla's driving modes. In the United States, Tesla has 5 different driving modes. You can drive the car manually, completely normally like any other car on the planet. That's 1. 2, you've got traffic aware cruise control, and I'm sure everybody knows what that is. It's you set a speed, the car tries to go that speed as much as possible, unless something in front of it tells it that it can't go that speed, then it'll slow down. You've got Autopilot, which is traffic aware cruise control on top of lane keep. So it keeps you in your lane. You can press the blinker button and the car will change lanes for you. It will not make those decisions on its own. You've got navigate on autopilot. You set in a route and turn on autopilot and the car will make specific lane changes. Not all of them, but some of them, like just to follow the route. If you want to change lanes to pass or to get into the slower lane or whatever, for whatever reason, you still are in control of that by pressing the blinkers. And then finally, there's FSD, and FSD has 3 modes. There's chill, standard, and hurry. I'm going to show you the difference between all of them. You will see a difference on the screen. You will see a difference in how the car handles, drives itself, and you will see a difference in how I interact with the car. So the first thing I'm going to do is drive to a car wash because there's dead bugs all over my windshield. And we'll pick up right after the car comes out of the windshield, we'll pick up right after the car comes out of the car wash. And I will drive manually. So you'll see the first driving mode. I'll drive manually to the beginning of the loop. And I will just do the same loop over and over and over until I've gotten all the driving modes covered. Okay. So I live in Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids has 3 highways that go around the city and one that goes directly through the middle. I'm going to choose the west circle and just do that multiple times. So we're going to go this direction in every single one of the modes. And I'll show you how the car performs in the different driving modes. All right, hope you guys enjoy the ride. I'm going to drive manually to the highway so you can see that, yes, you can drive the car. It doesn't always have to be in autonomous mode. And you will also see how the car drives differently than a human. So my foot is, I'm going to try my best to get my foot never to touch the brake pedal. I don't know if it's going to be successful, but if you lift your foot off of the accelerator, the car comes to a stop with a regen braking. I don't have to touch the brakes. And I wore my shoes that are black on the top with a white sole so that hopefully you can see my feet. When the car is driving itself and I don't have to put my foot on the pedals, I will put my foot back here so that you know I am not doing anything. But until we get to the highway, I'm going to drive this myself. See, I checked the camera and started drifting. The car did not warn me of anything because I am in control. So this is the visualization that the car is in when it's self-driving. This is what it looks like when you're driving the car, but you've got just the map up. So it'll show you what's around you. It's not as dark as what it usually is, so keep your eye on this. This will get filled in more and more as we drive. Mini map is in the corner so you can see where I am. So as this video goes along, I'm going to give up more and more control to the car. The first thing we're going to start out with is TACC, traffic aware cruise control. That means the car is going to keep the speed for me, but I do all of the steering, all of the lane changes, everything is all on me. The car just tries to keep me at the speed that I set as best it can. And hopefully the traffic will be about the same through this entire test. But as soon as I get on the highway here, I'm going to press this button and I'm going to enable cruise control, traffic aware cruise control. And every time I switch to the next level, I have to pull over, put the car in park, because it will not let you get more autonomous while you're driving, but it will let you get less. So I always have to pull over and start again. So I'm up to a good speed. I'm going to press that button as soon as it's available. Uh-oh. Maybe I'm not. Why isn't it available? Let's pull over. I don't know what's going on here. It's currently unavailable. The driver canceled the request. I'm unbuckled. The front trunk, something is open. It is not. The vehicle is below the cruise control minimum speed of 18. Limited availability, track mode, or valet mode is active. None of these things are true. Valet mode is off. I don't have a track mode in my car. Everything's closed. What's its problem? Okay, now it's definitely not going to work. Let's see. Traffic aware cruise control. Park assist unavailable. All this not working. So I'm going to drive until I get my camera calibration back. Which is wild, man. When this circle fills up, the cameras will be calibrated again. It says it could take up to 100 miles. If you drive on decently marked roads, you should be okay rather quickly. And it's calibrated again. And now we're in cruise control. Holy crap. I cannot take my hands off the wheel or the car will just drift. So the car is keeping me at the speed that I have set. I can't believe that happened. Anyway, visualizations still look the same. I can use the scroll wheel to increase my speed. And as you can see, the car will go up to 90 miles an hour. So I will do this loop at 82 because I don't want the car to go crazy. 82 is what I said it could go. It will do its best to do 82. The car in front of me is not doing 82, so it is doing 80. I also have a follow distance. If I click the left scroll wheel button to the left, it'll increase that distance. And that's as far as it'll go. And if I go to the right, it will decrease that distance. 2 is the closest it'll go. 7 is the furthest it'll go. Now, I don't know if that's seconds behind the car. Definitely not. I don't know if that's car lengths. I think that's what it is. But I have to do everything. The car is only doing cruise control for me. So if I go over into this lane where there's no one, the car should speed up and instantly does. That's it. I mean, this is just the car maintaining the speed for me. Now, as I get closer to this car up here, this white truck, this Chevy white truck, it's going to slow down. Already started. There you go. Okay, so that's traffic aware cruise control. That is it. I do it all. I'm going to do this whole loop on traffic aware cruise control just in case something comes up. I'm going to increase my follow distance because that guy is throwing rocks. Okay, he moved. I'll put it back to 2. Now, I could go all the way up to 90 using this. None of the other modes will let me go past 85. Just an FYI. As you can see, I'm drifting all over the lane because I'm a human and I'm not as precise as a computer. Oh, but my foot is nowhere near the pedals. Stop and go traffic, this is good. As long as you're paying attention to the steering, the car will stop and go if there's bumper to bumper traffic. And as you can see, visualization is terrible. It's like a washed out version of what's in front of you. It doesn't show you that it sees very far. You can barely see any of the cars across the street, across on the other lane, the oncoming lane. But yeah, max is 85, but I'm only going 76 because this car is super duper slow. The only reason I'm staying here is because I'm getting off at this exit. So I did all of that. I got into this lane. If this car wasn't in front of me, I would turn off traffic aware cruise control so that I could do this curve at a decent speed, but this car is going to slow us down, so it's fine. I don't have to turn it off. And to turn it off, I press the button on the wheel or I hit the brakes. You notice the car changed my max speed, and that's because the speed limit here changed. So from that highway to this highway, the speed limit changed. So I can just roll it back up to 90 or whatever I want it at. And you see it's clear in front of me, so the car picks up speed. This is traffic aware cruise control. Oh, it's not smart enough to turn off the blinker. Maybe. Let's try it this way. Normally, yeah, okay, it auto cancels the blinker. That's good. So 90 is too fast. So I'm just going to roll that down to 82. 90 is only too fast because I don't want to get a ticket. I don't mind driving 90, but I don't want to get a ticket. So pay no attention to the minimap. I am driving manually. I'm going to take the car where I want to take the car. Navigation only matters when the car is driving itself. I know the route that I want to take. I will leave it as it is for when the car is actually driving itself. So now that there's nobody in front of me, the car's not going to slow down and it's not going to take this merge correctly. So I'm going to take over by pressing the brake. And I'm going to squeeze right in where this semi is not very happy with me. Now I can turn it back on. It's going to go 20 max because that's the speed I was going. I'll put it back up to 82. The car is not going to do that because this car in front of me is going to stop me from doing that. But bumper to bumper traffic, this is a great thing to have, and I'm glad this happened. So the car will maintain the speed for me. I just have to maintain the lane. Easy peasy. I could leave my lane. The car doesn't care. Okay? It gives no craps. It doesn't warn me about anything. It's like you're handling the steering, I'm handling the speed. That's all that matters. You'll see the cones are actually on the screen. They're actually showing up as cones. If you've seen my other FSD videos, you'll see that these are just blobs. The car knows it's something there, probably even knows what it is, but it doesn't display it on the screen correctly. The car doesn't care where I'm looking. None of that mess matters to the car. And as you can see, the car is going really, really slow based on the driving conditions. So I'm going to step on the accelerator and make it speed up. It didn't like that too much, and it's slowing back down. It thinks the speed limit is 45 and it doesn't want to go much faster than that. I can put my foot on the accelerator and it'll go. If I take it off, now that we're out of the construction, it's okay with all that. My foot is back by the seat. And if I let go of the steering wheel, it'll just continue straight in whatever direction it was traveling. So we're going to go through that construction zone, thankfully, multiple times. And right back up to 82. This Kalamazoo Grand Rapids exit is where I'm going. So I will get over here. Curvature assist active. It's gonna try. So I don't have to do anything. The car is very smart. I'd like to try that being a lead car, but nah. So it set its max to 45 because it's going around a curve. And it set it back to 65. And I'm going to up it to 82 again. It still thinks I'm on a curve because it saw that. There's nobody behind me right now, but it's not acting right. I would have stepped on the accelerator by now. Now it figured it out. It won't know anything about this truck that's going to get in front of us until it's in front of us. And then it'll slow down. Okay, curvature assist active is now kind of weird because I'm not curving. And it's slowing down in the middle of the passing lane, like drastically. So I don't use traffic aware cruise control for this reason. I will use Autopilot and FSD. I felt the car starting to slow down, so I'm going to get over in the passing lane. And it'll pick right back up. Oh, buddy. Car's on fire. So this is the S curves. We're doing around 70. We're good. But this is because this van is slowing us down. 63. That's even better. And it's going to curve just as drastically the other direction in just a second. Now he's pulling away. We should speed up. Perfect. Perfect. My exit is on the left. All of my exits are on the left today. So I'm going to be in the passing lane a lot. Now, it's definitely not going to take this, and if I don't take over, it's going to smash into something. So I'm going to take over the speed of the car as well, simply because I don't want to crash the car. It wouldn't slow down for this curve. There's no way that I would put my trust in that. Not in the slightest. But now that we are through the curve, I can turn it back on and set it to 82 again. I'm going to hop over here. And we will say this is where I start the next loop. So I have to put the car in park. And then go to the Autopilot screen and switch it to Auto Steer Beta. The reason it can't turn up the autonomy while I'm driving is because it's got this terms of service agreement that it wants you to read and agree to before you can turn on the next level. Now you can turn things down because you've already agreed to the level of autonomy that the car is going to give, but you can't turn it back up without agreeing to this. So you guys can read that if you want to. I'm just going to click yes. So now I'm in auto steer. And it's not navigate on autopilot. It's just autopilot. Okay. So what we're going to do now is drive that same loop on autopilot. So now autopilot is on. I don't have to drive. I can set the speed just like before. I'll set it to 82 and it'll respond just like it was before. And the car is driving. Now, if I take my hands off the wheel, it's going to start to nag me and say apply slight force to the steering wheel. But the car's doing this. I am not. Apply slight force to the steering wheel. So it wants me to prove that I'm here. Now, if I keep my hand on the side, if I keep my hand on the wheel somewhere, that message shouldn't come up. Shouldn't come up. As you can see, the visualization has changed a little bit. The lane lines are highlighted in blue. There was, see, I turned it off because I twisted the wheel too much. And it happened again. This is the problem with auto steer or autopilot. They call it auto steer in the menu. It's called autopilot. That's the problem with it. If you turn the wheel too much, you turn it off. You press the button, you turn it off. You hit the brake pedal, you turn it off. There were chevrons on this lane because that lane was going slower than we were. And it was the car telling you, hey, you should probably slow down a little bit. Because I kept turning it on and off, the speed decreased to 74. So I'm going to put that back up to 82. And you'll notice that my hands have been on the wheel, so it hasn't nagged me to touch the wheel or anything. Apply slight force to the wheel. The follow distance is still the same. You can change it just like you could with traffic-aware cruise control. And the car doesn't really care where I'm looking. If I look away for way too long, the car's going to yell at me and say, hey, pay attention to the road. But beyond that, nothing. So I'm doing 65 and my 82 because that semi is going really, really slow. Notice the car is staying put. It's not doing anything. There's two cars to my left. As soon as they pass, I will turn the blinker on and the car will make the lane change for me. I don't have to do anything else. When we get next to this car, I'm going to turn on the right blinker and show you what the car does when there's a car in the way. There's a vehicle there. That's red. It's not going to go. I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to actually get in that lane, but it won't change lanes if it can't change lanes. I can force it to go faster by stepping on the accelerator. It doesn't like that. Eventually it will say autopilot will not brake because the accelerator is pressed. And the car did all of that. It shows a little box of where the car is going to go. It highlights the lane that it's going to go to, and everything is gravy. You don't have to worry about anything. So the car's not making any decisions whatsoever. It's just driving me at the speed that I want to go, and it's maintaining the lane that I want to be in. That's it. That's basic autopilot. But as you can see, the car is not putting on the blinker. The car is not going anywhere. It's going to continue on this road. I want to go that way. I'm going to take over to make that happen. So put on the blinker and it gets over. It has a hard time with these lanes that merge. It wants to be in the center no matter what. So that's why it was drifting out of the lane. Kind of a problem. We got the construction zone coming up. The car should act the exact same. Only this time it'll steer me through the construction zone And if I remember correctly, some of those barrels were intruding upon our lane. As you can see, the map has rerouted multiple times, trying to get me back to that destination behind us, and the car has not given a crap. It's just done what it needed to do. So Autopilot, in my opinion, is not the best for construction zones where they force you out of the lane. Because Autopilot wants to do its best to stay in the center of the lane. These cones are very far into the lane. Here's the true test. See, it moved. It got real close, but it moved. Nope, that didn't work. No, I don't trust it. I just can't trust it. No, every time I do this, it just wants to go right towards the cones because it wants to be in the center of the lane. This is funny. No, it's going to hit him. There's no way. So I will re-engage when we're out of the construction zone, which is now. And it violently jerked me to the center of this lane. Red, blue. You see the dash lines were even red because it wasn't going to change lanes. And that was me being way too late. So I'm going to take over and get us in here. Oh, it won't drive over solid white lines either. Forgot about that one. Notice the car waited until the lines were dashed before it actually made the lane change. White line, no. Dash line, yes. The car makes no decisions on lane changes. It would have sat behind that semi the entire time. Actually, it wouldn't have even gotten out of that exit lane because that exit lane turns into another entrance lane. So we would have been doing a loop. It would have been a hot mess. You see this guy left his blinker on? This car doesn't care. It continues to drive. Yeah, it thought it was going too fast, so it slowed down. Good for it. It's jerking the wheel quite a bit. Now this is my exit. I have to do all of this. So I'm going to take over because I don't want to smash into concrete barriers. Now it's available. Set it to 82. And it handles the rest for me. And you hit the car, you hit Autopilot, and you click Navigate on Autopilot. Again, you have to accept the terms and the responsibility and the release. You have to scroll all the way to the bottom to show that you actually read that. So there's that part. I'll put it on the screen. You can pause it if you want. And there's the last line. Do you want to enable Navigate on Autopilot while it is in beta? Yes, I do. Okay. There's also this customize navigate on autopilot button. You touch that. Do you want to enable it at the start of every trip? Yes or no. Do you want speed-based lane changes? Navigating on autopilot can become customized to your preference, and including 4 settings for speed-based lane changes: disabled, mild, average, or mad max. When enabled, navigate on autopilot will suggest lane changes into faster moving lanes in the event that your Model 3 is traveling slower than your desired set speed. The mild setting suggests lane changes when you're traveling significantly slower than the set speed, whereas the mad max setting will suggest lane changes even when traveling only slightly slower than your set speed. Changing this setting does not affect the safety of the lane change. Okay? I leave that off. I don't want the car telling me, hey, it might be faster to just use this lane. I will make those decisions. That's what autopilot is all about. But yes, you can do mild, average, or mad max. Exit passing lane, I leave that on because here in Michigan, they do not want you driving in the passing lane. They want you to drive on the right side. The left lane is specifically for passing. Require lane change confirmation. By default, navigate on autopilot requires the driver to confirm automatically initiated lane changes by pushing the turn signal in the intended direction of the lane change. You may choose to disable the turn signal confirmation for automatically initiated lane changes, but you must be aware that lane changes may happen quickly and at any time. Disabling the turn signal confirmation does not alleviate the driver of their responsibility to keep their hands on the wheel and carefully monitor the vehicle's surroundings. Okay? Very good warning. I don't want that on. Now, you notice this last one got changed when I turned that off. Lane change notification. You can either have it off, like when the car is going to change lanes, it will tell you it's going to change lanes. It can do that by vibrating the wheel, playing a sound, or both. Or you can turn it off. Now, you may choose to disable this notification for automatically initiated lane changes, but you must be aware that lane change might happen, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing it said before. Are you sure you want to disable it? So there. When I changed require lane change confirmation from yes to no, it changed the notification to both. It wants you to be aware. I find it very annoying, and I know the car is not going to do anything crazy. So I'm not going to go through each one of these loops on all these different settings. I'm going to set it to the way that I want, and you can use your imagination to see what the car is going to do. Now, this time around, I will have to edit the stops to get the car to go where I want it to. So that explanation is done and over with. We are going to take off as soon as it's clear, which might be a minute. Box truck. Yeah. Oh, this car's power is amazing. Enable, and the car will do the rest for me. So it's going to try to drive me to a Meijer in Hudsonville. But before we get there, I'm going to change the route so that it goes to the next destination and just follows the route that we've been doing. Now, again, if I want the car to change lanes, I can make it change lanes. I also need to set the max to 82. Oh, and I can mess with the follow distance just like before. Nothing has changed there. So we're at 82. Follow distance is the same as it was before. I'm good. It will only change lanes when I tell it to and when it needs to follow the route. I can press the accelerator and speed us up. It can't go this fast with that Ranger in front of me. I can take over by twisting the wheel, by pressing the button, or by pushing the brake. Just like before. The visualizations on the screen are the exact same as they were from Autopilot. It's limited. Everything around it is white. It's not paying attention to everything. That's the other thing is the car will try to get away from semis as much as possible. Like it got all the way over to the left side of the lane because that semi was right next to it. That's an autopilot thing, and FSD doesn't really do that. All right, exit's coming up over here, so I'm going to edit the trip. You notice that little icon is different? Now edit the trip and move this mire down to the end. Hit done. Look, it doesn't like it because I'm looking at the screen. So it made a bunch of noises there because it rerouted. So now it's gonna get on that highway. Upcoming lane change, tap the left blinker to cancel it. I'm not going to cancel it. I'm gonna let it do what it needs to do. And now it's doing it. Changing the lanes to follow route is what it says. So this is the difference you're gonna have on navigate on autopilot from autopilot. That's it. The car will just make the lane changes for you. You don't have to worry about it. And see, that wasn't very smooth. And again, it's trying to center me, so that was pretty wobbly all over the road. That's the problem with autopilot. All right, I gotta get over. Yep, there we go. Car did that. I was gonna step on the accelerator, but it figured it out for me. So I didn't actually press it. I did move my foot to do it though. See, these are just really, really close. So that's enough for me. I'm gonna drive. That's that. So back on it goes. See, this car is merging and we need to get out of its way. So I had to press the button. Now it's got this upcoming lane change. I need to edit the trip again, pull this one down so that it doesn't get off. You see, it completely turned off and then turned back on with a new route. I didn't want it to get off at 68th Street. I wanted it to go 131 North. Upcoming lane change. You can press the right blinker button to cancel it. But I want it to happen, so I'm going to let it go. And there, the blinker comes on, and the lane change happens. Autopilot is a completely different system than just traffic-aware cruise control and full self-driving. Just something to be aware of. Now it should change into that lane and make the exit. Should. There it goes. As you can see, as I mentioned last time, this exit lane becomes an entrance lane if you don't pay attention to it. But the car knows, and it gets me out. Changing lanes out of the passing lane. I like that a lot. Because these two people are like driving right next to each other. There's no reason for us to be in the passing lane. Again, it wants to get out of... Nope. It's to follow the route. I've got to change this. That's my bad. This one needs to go to the bottom. Turned it off. Turned it back on. Ooh. There it goes. I didn't like that so much. It basically hit the brakes in the middle of the highway. I had to step on the accelerator, but it's because it turned itself off. So that was regen. and it's struggling with the S-curves for sure. All right, I'm gonna pull over here. So I'm pressing the button on the wheel, turning on the blinker. I've got my foot on the accelerator and letting off so we can slow down and or stop. Coming in too hot, so I'm gonna apply some brake just because. And stopped, so I'll put it in park. Back here under Autopilot, I'm going to go to full self-driving. And again, you've got terms and stuff you've got to read. Yes, I accept. Yes, I want to turn it on. Now, I'm only going to do standard mode. I'm only going to do standard with a 20% max speed offset. I've got a video of FSD and chill, standard, and hurry, and comparing the three that I will link right up here if you want to watch that. But I'm only going to do this loop one more time in standard mode so you can see the difference between Autopilot and FSD. So the beautiful thing is that I can start FSD without doing anything else. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off and that on, and I'm going to push that button. There's nobody coming. The car is not going to go because there's grass right there. And now it's too late. Oh, they moved. All right. So off we go. I am stepping on the accelerator only because I wanted to really get going. So I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to edit the route as I did last time. But now the car is going to do everything for me. It's going to decide if it needs to change lanes. It's going to decide what speed it wants to go. The speed limit is 65. It set its max to 13 above that, so 73. 78. Yeah, max is 78. So it's deciding everything. It's deciding what lane to use. It's deciding if it wants to pass. It's following the navigation. It's doing the braking. It's doing the acceleration. It's doing all of it. I don't even have to touch the wheel any longer. It's not going to nag me. The camera is watching my eyes. In fact, if I look away for too, I'm going to look out the window. If I look away for too long, the car is going to nag me and say, "Hey, pay attention to the road." There. Please pay attention to the road. That's what it does. That blue flashes, and as soon as I look forward again, it's fine with it. Says, "Okay, I see that you're paying attention to the road. I won't bother you any longer." And we hit the max speed that the car will travel because it thinks the speed limit is 65, even though it's 70. So what I'm going to do is set it up to 84, which is where the speed limit would be if the car knew it was actually 70. Because 20% more of 70 is 84, which is more than the 82 that we would have gone before. But the difference is the car won't go that fast. It's only allowed to go that fast. That's the speed it will go up to because it's driving 79 and it's in the fast lane. But just like last time, if I want to, I can press the blinker button and force the car to get over, and it will do it. So I don't have to make any decisions, but if I want to, I can make the car do things that I want it to do. I can step on the accelerator and make it go faster. I can take over by twisting the wheel, pressing the button, or pushing on the brake pedal. If you remember when I first turned on Autopilot, I disengaged it a bunch because the steering wheel is more sensitive. The car will let you go crazy. Like you can feel it wobbling while it's doing that, while I'm twisting that wheel. If I had turned the wheel that much on Autopilot, it would have disengaged. But yeah, there were cars coming on and it wanted to get out of the way to let them merge, to give them the right of way to get onto the highway. It doesn't want to be a jerk face. I've got some apples that I've been wanting to eat. So I'm going to actually do that now. Now, because I put on the sunglasses, the car can't see my eyes and it is more strict. So it is very possible it will ask me to apply force to the wheel. Especially if I start messing with the screen, which I have to. So I'm going to edit the trip and it's going to yell at me. I'm going to move this mire down to the end. Actually, I'm going to take it off because we're not going to go there anymore. Now, a message popped up saying full self-driving may be degraded, but that's because it was rerouting on the fly. It didn't disable the system and re-enable it after it rerouted. It did it while it was still driving. It's rerouting me past that construction zone. Yeah, it made this turn. It's slowing down for the curve. It does it all. When it tries to get off on Wilson, I'm just going to force it to go straight and re-enable. So I'm going to turn it off, turn it back on once it's past the exit, just so it follows the same route it was before. You'll notice it's following this left lane line, so it's not swerving all over the place, trying to find the center of the lane. So it's 1 mile from the exit. It's going to start to get over into this lane. As soon as it does, I'll take over. So it's done that. I'm going to take over by pressing this button just because I don't want it to get off on this exit. Just to make things harder, I'm going to get into this lane. There, it changed. So I'm going to press the button and we're back in FSD. Things I couldn't do on Autopilot. Fill up my water bottle. Because the car wants me to keep my hand on the wheel. So this lane is going to end very soon. We're going to have to figure out a way to get over. Now, if the car becomes a butthead and tries to do something really, really dumb, I will take over. But that's the option. That's why it's called FSD Supervised. And there you go. It decided this is where I want to come over. I found a good spot, and off it went. Now, I've already proven that Autopilot wants to stay in the middle of the lane, and it doesn't care about the cones. Which, these are cones. All of these little blobs are those cones that are on the side of the road. They showed up as cones when using Autopilot, but they show up as just blobs on FSD. And you can also see this is grayed out, this is grayed out. This is areas that the car knows it can't drive. You can see all of the traffic on the other side of the highway because the car can see it. It didn't show you any of that stuff in Autopilot. Things are different. If I do the left and right scroll wheel, like to change the follow distance, it won't let me do that. That changes to chill and hurry, so it changes the driver profiles. So the car is not necessarily going to stay in the lane, but it will avoid these cones now. Plenty of space. We will eventually get forced off of this road and onto the rumble strips, so sorry about that. But I'm going to let the car do what the car is going to do. So yeah, you can't even pick your follow distance. The car does all that. The car does all of that. You tell the car where you want to go, and the car figures out how to get you there. All right, I'm going to edit the route again. So I don't want to do any of that. So done there. And full self-driving may be degraded is the only error you get, but it reroutes on the fly. It doesn't turn the system off and turn it back on. It keeps driving for you. In fact, I'm going to go to this charger instead. Again, full self-driving may be degraded, but it figures out the route. So that's where I want to go. So I'm going to edit this trip and get rid of the zoo, and we're done. Now, I played with the screen for way too long, and it said attention monitoring is no longer available. Apply slight force to the steering wheel. Because I was paying attention to the screen, the car realized that, and it told me, hey, don't do that. The car here is choosing a much better speed to go than any of the loops before. Even traffic aware cruise control did a bad job at picking a speed at this particular spot. In fact, we would have gone even faster if the van in front of us was moving a little bit faster or wasn't there at all. So in my opinion, FSD drives better than any of the other modes. It goes as fast as it deems is safe or is appropriate on this road. And it does that based on the speed limit and what all the other traffic around it is doing. It looks at everything. If you have paid attention to the steering wheel, you'll notice it's not jerking all over the place. The car does a much better job of driving in the lane. And again, it gets out of the passing lane as soon as possible. The wheel is rock solid. It was rock solid through the whole thing. It's not swerving all over the place. FSD is just a better system. The biggest thing about FSD that people don't seem to understand is that it drives the way it drives, not the way the driver drives, not the way that I would drive. And I think as soon as you realize that, FSD is better. So here's the best thing about FSD, is although you can use Autopilot on regular streets, it's really not suggested that you do that. FSD, on the other hand, can drive any and everywhere, and it's not a problem. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just seeing the difference in all of the driving modes that Tesla offers. I hope that clears up some confusion, especially some confusion that I've had in my comment section. If you liked it, like it. If you didn't like it, there's that other button. If you think someone else would like it, share it with them. And if you really liked it, hit subscribe to see more. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, or concerns, you can leave them down below, and I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. Thanks for watching. Deuces. I can guarantee you, in this video alone, there were at least 10 cases of other drivers making mistakes. There was a car on the side of the road on fire. That probably was a mistake.